Hi there, Z here, and boy, aren't God games great. Not like Smite where you play as a god, but as you yourself are a god. There is nothing that is better and nothing that shows you more what a person that you actually are than getting drunk and playing a god game. Will you be like this power-hungry, malevolent, fickle deity where you take the virginity of all boys and girls from the ages of 15 to 32? Or will you be a loving god that showers your people with whiskey and hookers and blackjack? Like $100 hookers, not the $5 hookers that you get like diseases from and are just gross to look at. Not those ones, $100 ones. But you don't pay for the $100 ones. You don't pay for anything because I am a great god. Now, when's the last time you actually had a good god game? A good, solid god game where you felt the power of a god and it was just so believable of what your subjects and your followers were doing. I think of two ones that I can really put together in my mind, and that would be Black and White 2 and Populous. Both terrific, great games. If you have a chance, or if you've played them before, you know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you're looking for good games, definitely give those ones a look. So that brings me to the question, why are there not a lot of God games out there anymore? And before I go further into this, you can definitely make the argument that like strategy games like Civilization are technically God games, but I don't call them God games. I call them strategy games. Simply for the fact that I feel like there's more to a God game than setting cities, setting up governments, doing research, making armies. It just seems so bland. I want to see my population. I want to see them with my eyes. I don't want them to be numbers. Your population is at this number. I want to see the people. I want to see the tears in their face when I drop an oak tree on their grandfather. I want to see the smiles on their faces when I drop an oak tree on somebody else that they hate's father. I want to see something, but it's most likely going to have to do with me dropping trees on people because that's where I get my kicks. But let's not talk about my fantasies and let's go into another exciting episode of Alpha RS.
This is a mass of rock and air, molded together in the infinite fabric of space, intertwined to create the perfect environment for sustaining life. I am a living planet.
Universum is a Kickstarted game that not only met its goal of $320,000, but overshot it with a total pledge of $387,345. It is made from a company called Crytivo Games, who really haven't made a game to date. I know. This all sounds very, very suspect since this kind of thing has happened before. Oh, I'm a new game company and I want to put out a game that's just wowie kabowie. It's great, guys. Take my word for it. Wow, thanks for all the money, guys. I'll get right on this. Yeah, I'll get super on this. Yeah, but we're actually going to need to push the open beta until 3 years from now. Yeah, something got caught in the mix here, a dead rodent or something. It's very, very technical stuff. Actually, you know what? Now that we're here, let's make it an even 10 years. Let's just make it 10 years even. You guys are going to get your open beta. And then within that 30 years, maybe you guys might actually get the game. Wow, I didn't realize how good cocaine is. Wait. Are you guys sure that you actually want us to make this game? Are you sure you want it? That's not that great. Oh, great! Let's go to Mexico! Seriously, this kind of stuff happens more than it probably should. A YouTuber named Dan Iberston made a few videos about this. You should really check them out. It's actually very depressing how much money people get away with. But, anyways, Crytevo doesn't really seem to be part of that group at all. They regularly show process on their Twitter, updates to their backers, have a Discord to talk to their fans about the progress, and overall just being awesome dudes about this. They have devised a game where you watch your little civilization go through Stone Age, to Bronze Age, to modern times, and way past that. While they handle their own lives, eating and drinking and fucking like rabbits, you help them by telling them what to build, assigning jobs to each building, and dropping trees on their friends and family. But how's the actual game? Well, that's a bit more difficult to explain, so for this episode of Alpha Ass, I really want to split this into two categories. The first one is what they've already done to the game, and the second one is what they're thinking and or have promised to give us in the future. The reason why I want to do this will be self-evident the further we go along. So let's just start with the first one. The whole idea of not physically being able to influence individuals is a strong difference between a strategy game and a god game, and it is a really great difference. Instead of putting your building site up and then grabbing some people and using them to build, but also multitasking some other people to keep gathering resources while other people to keep building this building, it's really confusing, and it's just a bit easier by letting the AI gather the resources for you and allocate idle villagers so it feels like less babysitting and more like governing. Sure, sometimes the AIs have a Vietnam flashback and just stand there doing nothing. But it's an alpha game. Just let more competent AI pick up the slack and finish the job for them. Just like real society. Affecting the environment with your parasitic mongoloids is actually a super interesting concept. Obviously, there's not much more you can do with the little amount that the game gives you, but you can affect the surrounding vegetation, fish population, and water supply. To make buildings and eat food, you must clear out the forest. To have clean drinking water, you have to build wheels that pump out the water of whatever lake that you're nearby, overall lowering it and decreasing the space where fish can fuck and live. Now sure, depending on how big this body of water is, it will take multiple days and several wheels before you have to ever worry about being aquatic Hitler and airing all the fish out. But it's very interesting how much an impact you can have on this world when oil is introduced, or pollution, or nuclear energy, or whatever the fuck we do as humanity. This kind of loops into number one, but it's still slightly different, and that's the AI of this game. Like I mentioned before, sometimes they freeze up like they saw their crush in the distance or something, but it's really intriguing to see the entire society working with each other. You start out with one area, 2 humans, 2 kids, and like an STD, they just fucking keep spreading and spreading. More people get born, children turn into adults, they need places to live, so they keep building stone huts, and it just keeps going and going and going. And by the end, you are looking at a society you really felt like you created yourself. Fuck you, evolution. At least the game that I bought, and yes, I really wanted to help these people out as much as I could because I really do like where the look of this game is going. And they give you all the basic buildings in the demo and on the purchase game that you buy through their website. Eateries, wells, water wheels, houses, farms, fishing docks, graveyards, yada 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 yada. Pretty much everything you need to keep your society going. And if you ever want to play the game until there's a stone house at every part of your continent, you most likely can. Now we are going to the flip side of what this game can be if the developers are serious about everything they say. You will see so many coming soon signs. It's absolutely ridiculous. When I close my eyes at night, I could see dreams coming soon painted on the back of my fucking eyelids. Now, I understand it's alpha, so before anyone's jimmies get rustled, don't worry, I understand. It's alpha, it's still new, but taking into consideration how much of the game that they are planning on making, they might as well have held off for just a little bit more so we could get a more broader feel for the game. If it took them 2+ years of developing just to put the Stone Age in, the very first age, and a plethora of ages to come, I can only imagine how long it will take them to finish the game with a result of outer space adventure, laser shooting, and banging green broads. Not saying that I don't want them to take their time and make it completely right. I want this game to be pristine. But after getting a taste of this game, I mean, all I can really think about is how far in the future I have to wait before they fucking come out with it. Save games. Yeah, there are none. You cannot save this game. I mean, technically you don't need to save this game since you can pretty much get to the end game material in about 40 minutes. But I'm just putting it in here because I'm trying to grab everything that I can. Wild animals, or none that I could find, at least my 3 times playing this game over and over again. It shows population growths of animal around you, but unless they are invisible or perfectly camouflaged into every single blade of grass, I just don't think that they program them yet. Multiple ages. Like I've been mentioning before, Stone Age is all you got. It definitely allows you to touch on it a little bit with the gameplay, but it absolutely refuses to go to second base with you. Fucking bitch. Launching into space. It's mentioned that this game at one point will allow you to travel to different star systems, to colonize new planets, or to get the attention of alien life. Which, some of which don't look too friendly. Oh, that's so fucking cool! More god powers. I mean, you have a few of them. Building power that kind of helps people build a specific building faster. Picking up items and throwing them around in a very godly fashion. And a sort of self-pregnator. Oh, well. Hello there, baby. You want to be my not-so-virgin Mary? Anyway, with all these powers, such as making more wood, rocks, and a motherfucking volcano, it's a bit of a shame we couldn't see some of these in action. Random events, including, but not limited to, alien abductions, riots, natural disasters, civil wars, etc., and so on and so on. It's always nice to be on your toes in a god game. Get a little riot here and there, and you can just throw down a volcano on top of them. Get some people who want to pass a bill saying that donkeys should fuck zebras, and you can just throw down a little bit of a meteorite. You know, just regular stuff.
You too can trigger disasters if you're displeased with your civilization's choices. With every action they perform that displeases you, you generate wrath, and then you can unleash your wrath upon them at any time.
And to be honest, the list goes on and on and on. This game is obviously very enthusiastic on what it wants to give you, but I mean, at the same time, with the amount of stuff that they're trying to wow you with, it can easily be bogged down and can drive a simple man to have it be too much to handle and they cancel the entire operation. I'm not going to say it's going to happen to them, but it has happened before. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about this game. Now, I know it seems like I was talking shit about this game. You know, look at all this stuff that they didn't put in here. And I understand, like I mentioned before, that it's just an alpha game. I guess the only thing that I'm really worried about is it being like all the other alpha games that I really like. The Long Dark, We Happy Few, Kona, like there's so much stuff out there where it's like, wow, I really love this game. I hope they're going to come out with some stuff more often, and then 6 months down the road and they finally give us an update. It's like, fuck. I obviously am not going to say, oh, you can obviously hire more people. You got $380,000 starting off, and now you're selling this for $40 a pop. By the way, $40 if you really want to get it. That's the price. There's other tiers, but we'll get into that a little bit here after I finish this point, or else I'm going to forget it. But now you have more money on top of the money that you said you needed. That should at least speed things along a little bit, right? And hire more people, do something, because this game might be one of the best God games out there. Like I mentioned before, I don't know too many God games. There's all the Populous series. There's Black and White 1 and 2. There's something called Ungod or something like that a lot of forums I was looking at were kind of bitter about, but I've never played it, so I wouldn't know. What I want to do is have them know, like, hey, guys, this is a huge project. Maybe hire on a few more people. Maybe do something to help us out here, because it was, the Kickstarter was approved in 2014. Like I think it was April, so maybe like halfway into that year. So let's just say they wait until the rest of the year to plan out everything and to start programming in 2015. That's still about 2 years, and all they have to show is the very bare minimum. Stone Age, not all the buildings are there, not any of the random events are there, not nothing. Again, I don't want them to rush, but at the same time, if they could step it up a little bit, because this game has the potential to be huge. Has the potential to bring people back to the God games and make them fun again, which is what I would love. So, I'm going to leave in the description the website that you guys can go to check them out. If you want to buy it for $40, that's great. By the way, they're not paying me to do this. This is just me enjoying the game that much, or from the little part that I had of it. So, if you want to help them out here, I strongly encourage it. I will give this one, I can't really give this one an alpha or an ass because of how little information that I got and how little everything was in it. This one's going to be continued. Like, when they put enough of the game out, I'll give it more of a thing. It's most likely going to be alpha unless they truly buttfuck this somehow. But we'll find out. Anyway, before I start rambling, I hope you all have a great day. Hope you all had a great St. Patty's Day. I know I did. I just got not drunk today. It was a pretty big hangover, but back to drinking regular time. Cheers.